Welcome back, Flare community. First and foremost, I hope you're all well and having an incredible day as always. And yes, it's time for the weekly news catch-up. Before we jump in today, I think I just wanted to mention something. These weekly live streams are supposed to be very concise and very to the point so that people who may be short on time can just get this news summary of the weekly events. Now, for that reason, I sort of neglect the chat a little bit, as a bad streamer would, but what I want to start doing is, after we've ran through the news, maybe leave a couple of minutes at the end so that if you do have any questions, put them in the chat as we're going through the news, and at the end, I'll try and answer them before we jump into the weekly community chat over on Discord, which is open to everyone. So with that said, we're going to jump straight in and wow, it's pretty bright this, I think I should get on to 30 from Solidify and maybe ask for a dark mode. This is Solidify app, and this is a list of the FTSO signal providers who are providing data to the Flare Time Series Oracle. These are the top ratings this week so far. On the top of the charts, we have EDP FTSO. Can't say that I've ever heard of them that much. I saw them in the rankings maybe last week, but interesting nonetheless. We've got second place going to Flare Ocean, third place Lena Instruments, fourth place Flare.Space, and in fifth place Price Kraken. Again, haven't heard of these either. Just on a side note, Flare.Space actually have a really interesting app where you can sort of model and project the future flare drops and how much you're expected to have over the course of the next 2+ years. With that out of the way, we're going to jump straight into Sparkles here. This is the leading NFT platform on Songbird and Flare. And in the last 7 days, the volume has been pretty crazy. Blockbones, of course, taking the lead with just shy of 680,000 FLR. Second place going to the Loyalists collection from FLR Finance, formerly FLR Finance. That's actually, you may know them as Enosis right now. In third place, we have Best FTSO Contract. Fourth place, we have Sparkle's Genesis collection. And in fifth place, we have Super Bad Genesis Seed. So congratulations to all of them for making the top 5 this week. This is pretty big news as far as I'm concerned. CoinMarketCap, a huge company. If we just look at the followers there, 6.1 million followers. Obviously, Flare had a huge week in terms of price action. You can see here, let me just blow that up a little bit. Flare was clocking in at plus 44%, almost 45% there. And this is great exposure for the Flare network. And I've personally seen a large uptick in interest about the Flare network as the price has increased. And sadly, that's just how it goes. A lot of people sort of want to get into crypto when they hear about it. And people hear about it when they get these kind of headlines. X coin has increased X amount. It really gets people interested. And for me, it's actually quite interesting to learn about the psychology behind it. No one really wants to learn about the projects when they're at their lows, but I'm sure everyone here has been accumulating, staking, delegating, and claiming them rewards and compounding, so that it's almost like a multiplier effect, right? And if you have been acquiring more FLR, then congratulations. Last week has been really good, and this is just great for exposure. I thought I'd want to point that out. This is news from Flare. Another 66 million FLR has been burnt, pushing the total burn to almost 400 million, just shy. And if you want to learn more about this, it's actually pretty interesting. This is something that Hugo spent a long time negotiating with the investors, and it's a plan to burn a total of 2.1 billion over the course of the flare drop process, which is, as we say here, more than 2% of FLR's total supply. This is obviously a deflationary pressure, but we also have the inflationary pressures, which go to delegator rewards, staking rewards, and supporting the ecosystem too. So thought I would shout that out. And this guy here, Seas, he's always producing some great animations. He's full of these, and he was quick off the mark on creating this one. If you're not following him, I'd highly recommend doing so because, I don't know, it's just a little bit of fun, right? He always creates some. In fact, we can click on his account here and see what else he's been creating recently. He had a really good staking one actually too, but these were always interesting to look at, and they're always slightly animated. On its way to 3 cents, well, I think we did surpass that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we're above that right now. Moving on, secure your flare drop rewards in 2 steps. You guys know the procedure right now. There's many different places that you can claim your flare drop rewards. These happen once every single month, and the next one is on Flare the 10th. And if you don't claim them within, well, it says here it expires in 67 days. So I think that was the previous one. So, make sure that you're claiming. Otherwise, it's just going to get burnt. This is what I wanted to mention too regarding that. Dan Rocky pointed out that this particular month for the flare drops, it could actually be a little bit more than what you're expecting. We see this here that the predicted amount is going to be about 10%. Whether that's true or not, time will tell, but this may partially be done. The partial reason, stumbling over my words here, maybe because people are staking. That recently came out earlier last month. It got popular and more accessible, but they might not be restaking. So once your staking period ends, you need to restake it, right? So if you're not restaking it, you're not eligible for the flare drops or the staking rewards. If you are staking, make sure that you restake it. So that's just a little reminder there for anyone that may be staking. So in fact, we've got a little chart here. As you can see, the initial staking rewards were very high. Or sorry, this is the flare drop rewards. It's tapered down since then, but it looks like now it's sort of on the rise. So again, just a reminder, be sure to restake. Speaking of staking, yes, there was a new announcement from Flare that they're saying that staking is now available on portal.flare.network/staking. And this is via Metamask, very popular browser wallet, or should I say plugin. And there is something that I should mention here. In order to do this with Metamask, and there's other websites that allow you to do this, such as FTSO AU, you are going to have to do what is called a blind sign transaction. And I just want to run through that and tell you what it means really quick. So blind signing is basically signing a transaction where you can't see all of the details. Now, there is some inherent risk behind this if you do not trust the entity that are providing the smart contract. If you're interacting with a normal transaction, you can see a little bit of the details and figure out exactly what's being called. But with blind signing, you can't actually do that. Now, I think it's pretty safe to say that FTSO AU, they've been around from the start, and also the Flare team themselves have nothing malicious going on. But if you do have the opportunity to come across a site that you're not familiar with, and they're asking you to blind sign, I'd stay well away. But that's just a bit of a warning. You've got nothing to worry about here. But staking is now becoming a lot more accessible to everyone. And actually something interesting to mention is that the more people that stake, the higher the rewards for delegators, or the increase of the reward for delegators, and vice versa, right? It's going to be this, I guess, this point of equilibrium where all of the amounts, the rewards for both staking and for delegating are roughly about the same. I would always imagine that staking's a little bit more because you obviously have to lock up your tokens. With delegating, you're free to undelegate them as you please. So just a little bit of information there. I actually ran a competition this week, and this was for the big news coming from SBI official announcing their Fleur staking service. Give away 50,000 FLR, split between 5 winners. That's 10,000 FLR each, and it was a meme competition. I'm just going to quickly run through some of my favorites. This was a personal favorite here. This was from Sparkles with a lot of different hidden gems within this. You can see Hugo peeking up from the side there. We've got Yoshitaka Katao in the top right there. We've got all kinds of stuff going on as well. This is the Fleur Oracle logo, and they did actually release another image of everything, all of the little Easter eggs you can find in this picture. That was certainly a winner. In second place, we had this from Live for the Meme, living up to his name. I thought this was really good. A lot of projects that you might be familiar with here. Got the steak there with the Fleur logo, people eating steak, and a lot of familiar NFT projects as well. So, and Hugo obviously taking center stage. And look, even a Fleur community logo there, very much a winner in my eyes. This one made me laugh from Jon Snow. You said you like your steak medium rare. No, I said I like to steak on Fleur. Pretty simple, but effective. This one was just hilarious. It's the facial reactions for me. And finally, oh, this has got to be a winner. This is the Hugo. They described it when I contacted them as like the worm thing or something. I don't know. Resistance is futile, connect everything. And that's obviously Hugo's face planted on the... yeah, congratulations to all of the winners. 50,000 FLR coming to you, believe next week. This is actually quite interesting. It looks like we have some new proposals coming up to vote on. So if you do want to vote on a proposal, you have to hold WFLR. That's Fleur that's wrapped. And if you're holding Fleur, it should already be wrapped because that's how you also earn delegation rewards and be eligible for staking. Now, I have had a lot of people contact me talking about if the FLR that they have staked is eligible to allow them to vote in this upcoming proposal. And good news, it certainly is. Anything that you have on the P chain is effectively mirrored onto the C chain. So don't worry about that. If you was looking to participate, then you have nothing to worry about. This was pretty interesting from Tim. It looks like he's got a Apple Vision Pro. This is obviously just a prototype, but let me just run you through this. This is his VR, I guess, example of interacting with F assets. You can see him there looking at the dashboard. I'm sure many of you have seen this video already. Sort of just doing this in a virtual reality setting, or spatial computing, I believe, is the new hot term. What do you guys think? Are you going to be using your VR headset to do this? For me personally, I think the Vision Pro is a little bit out of my price range, but it's going to be interesting, you know, if we see these decrease in price, it could become a thing in the future. Who knows? Moving along here. The Algorand Foundation announced that Algorand has been added to the API portal. This is a service for developers who want to get information about various blockchains, and they can do that through Fleur's API portal built by the Fleur Labs team. So if you are a developer, I'd highly recommend checking this out. Very useful for multi-chain applications. So that is that. Moving along here. %, can we take part in Ship Everything? And if you don't know what this means, Ship Everything, this is a quote, I guess, from Hugo in a recent ecosystem call. I asked him about the future of F assets and Layer Cake and the Fleur Time Series Oracle upgrade, and I asked him if it's ambitious and if it's realistic that he can get all of these completed within 2024, and he said yes. And then he said, we're going to ship everything. So that's a bit of a meme right now, but %, are saying that they're going to be shipping real-world assets to Fleur this quarter. And obviously we're halfway through February, which leaves just about a month and a half before we see something big coming from %. If you're not familiar with Uppercent, they're actually a very unique project that are bringing education to the blockchain and allowing you to purchase courses and tutorials and then have the ability to resell them just as you would a book. You know, a lot of people take a course, or they pay for a course, they take a course, and then it's just consumed and you can't do anything with that. But with Uppercent, they're representing courses as NFTs. So you can buy the course, you can digest and learn from the course, and then you can also sell it on to someone else that may want to learn about the thing that you've just learned about, right? So very interesting project, keeping a close eye on them. And a little update from Bifrost here. They're talking about decluttering your wallet and hiding unwanted token and NFTs. If you're anything like me, you will have a whole load of Polygon NFTs saying that you've won something or directing you to a website, and that should always be a sign of caution. Any asset that's airdropped to you or NFT that's airdropped to you, trying to funnel you into a particular website, it's likely malicious. So just take everything with a grain of salt. And yeah, I'm very much happy with this addition. You know, I think these Polygon NFTs need to be polygon. Right, that's bad. Moving on. Kinetic markets. They're talking about safety here and their robust risk management system on how they're planning to reduce the risk with their platform. Kinetic Markets is basically going to be a DeFi platform coming in the near future. I'm looking forward to seeing what they're bringing, and just in general, the idea of concentrated liquidity through a number of the big DeFi platforms that we know and love and that we've come familiar with. Keep your eyes out for that, because it's going to be an interesting year once all of these applications go live. The EAT app, E8T, sure that's how we pronounce it, EAT. Thrilled to share some exciting news. They're going to be actually providing some infrastructure services as a validator and also a FTSO signal provider. So congratulations to them. It's great to see the network expanding in terms of infrastructure providers. This is a quick one on the NFT side. I'm honestly super humbled about how successful the Blockbones project is. A lot of people in the Flare community are supporting it, and the best is honestly yet to come. This is going to be a big week for the project, or a big month for the project, and we just surpassed 8 million FLR in volume in just over 2 months. So, I mean, if we go back to Sparkles right quick, and if we go to statistics and we click on all time, in terms of FLR, we're sitting on 7th place and with more actual FLR volume than that in first. And Flare Apes, they've been around for a year or so. So I imagine we're going to be slowly making our way up to number 1. And, you know, it's, I don't know how to say this, but it is quite, how do I say it? It's a little bit worrying, I guess, or, you know, I really want more innovation to come from the NFTs, and maybe a percent will do that. But if we look on the 24 hours volume here, we've got Blockbones topping the chart with almost 300,000 volume, and in second place is 500, right? So some people say that NFTs on the Flare network are dead, and even though the Blockbones is a collection built on skeletons and the dead, NFTs are very much alive on the Flare network because we've been absolutely killing it, and we've got all sorts of good news coming in the next couple of weeks. If you're holding a Lucky Claw, good news for you. Anyone that's, I guess, over the past 9 months, you've been able to claim Flare Community Coin every single block. And Flare Community Coin, it's still going to have all of the utility that you know and love. We've got the governance system, we've got an on-chain game, and an NFT store where you can buy poker tickets and win FLR. But now there is an additional utility here where you can swap FCC over for Bones Coin, and that's the asset that's powering the Blockbones ecosystem. So if you do have excess FCC, that's another option for you. And speaking of the Lucky Claw, of course, it is almost time for the Flare drop, which means that it's time for the monthly drop. I think we're going to do it on Sunday. We've got 50,000 FLR every single month. We've got Flare Community poker cards, we've got Decent wallets, we've got Expector NFTs, we've got all kinds of stuff that we give away to a lucky winner. And of course, patrons of the Legend tier have a chance of winning one of these, and also an unrevealed Blockbones NFT every single month too. So stay tuned for that. It's likely going to be a stream on Sunday, but I will keep you updated and probably finalize that in the next couple of days. And I guess just to round things out, you may have heard that data is the currency of the future, right? That's quite a popular saying these days. And you may have also heard that Flare is the blockchain for data. You know what that means, right? Flare is the blockchain of the future. Data really is liquid gold right now, and you know, if Flare is able to fulfill what they're already achieving and to do it to a better extent with the upgrade of the FTSO, it really is going to be at the forefront of decentralized high integrity data. And that's one of the things that really excites me about Flare. So that pretty much wraps up the news. Like I said, if you are interested in joining a good old chinwag, come over to the Flare Community Discord, scroll right to the bottom here, and you should have this community stage here where we have a good old chat for maybe about an hour or so. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So what I'm going to do now is run through the chat, see if we've got any questions here. And if not, we'll sign out and call it a day. Have a look. Chat's pretty busy this week. Christopher asking, is it possible to see when the FLR drop snapshots are after they occur? So I know it's not possible to see them. So yeah, you can actually see them. I believe that they're announced by Flare themselves, and you can query the blockchain, but I think it's best for most people to keep an eye on the official announcements from the Flare team, and they usually show you which blocks the snapshots occurred with. Crypto Granny, not a fan of VR. Interesting. Okay, that pretty much looks like all of the questions, I guess. Yeah, so let's wrap it up here. And like I said, if you do want a good old chinwag, come over to the Flare Community Discord. All are welcome. And I believe that we had Professor talking about Thoth coming on, who is the founder of the Cooties project. And apparently he's been pretty busy. Looking forward to hearing about that. Maybe you are too. Come along for the ride. But if not, have yourself a fantastic weekend. Thank you all so much for watching. And until next time, I'm out.
We have liftoff.